Okay, let's go over Kensington's 5-3-2 cover shadow bracket far side sweep defense. And we will go over why it's called that as we go. You'll see we'll touch on each of these words and concepts. So this is a slight variation of what we were doing last week as we evolve based on what we see. So you'll see we're neutral and we have our five in the back when the goalie has the ball. Five in the back. This is the defense will fall back into when we get breached and we're in a low block or even a mid block. We'll go into a 5-3-2. This is when we're high pressing. What we're going to do, we're going to hold until the ball's played out. Let's say it's played out here. At this moment, a lot of things are going to happen. So very similar to what happened last week with a few tweaks. This happened last week when the ball's played into the half space or the far channel. The ball side, we rotate to the ball side, the back five. So you'll see Majid will step in front and he will bracket their winger. The winger's here, it doesn't matter. They'll bracket the winger. Okay, and our back line will shift, becoming a back four, which is what you would normally see, but now we have Majid push forward, and he's going to get as high as he can here, because all he wants to do is be able to stop a ground ball to the 7. So the closer he can get, you're going to see in a second when the ball's played, we want him to press the 2 and not let the ball down the sideline. You'll see. And Joe is, Ristatelli is protecting the ball over the top. You're going to see that in a second. Meanwhile, the front line, you'll see the back rotated. Everyone has a job to do here. Front line, this is where the far side sweep comes from. Okay. And also we have a cover shadow. So you see the cover shadow. We already have one cover shadow. Berdenz is cover shadowing 6. You'll see he's going to press this player. Okay. At the same time that Hamza is going to far side sweep. So previous, we had this coming from the 9. We're going to have play with a false 9. Far side sweep, he's going to come through. Now, this takes a little longer, but it's fine because what they were doing was, if you'll see, if Sam went, they were just chipping him. So now this is going to work out better because what's going to happen is Hamza can start close to this 5. He's eventually going to get there, but what he's really protecting is he's really cover shadowing now. And he's stopping a ball in the air. All by himself. He's doing 2 jobs at once. He's cover shadowing and they can't play it in the air because he's close enough. So we're going to have Sam watch this ball to the 8. Okay? And to the 10. He's going to just sit here in this hole. And he should be able to cover shadow both of these guys. Any funny business going through here. Okay. Andy will be ready for a long ball out to the fullback. And he can step to that if that happens. Or he can wait for Bassam to step to it. Okay. But Andy can really just slide in here too and help. Okay. And if the ball is switched, all the power to him. We'll just press that sideline. Okay. Where's the ball going to go? He can play back. He can take a risky pass over to here, which we can press, or he's going to play here. When he plays here, this is where Majid cuts the lane. No. And keep in mind, like, we don't want Joe right up on this guy because now the ball can be played over and it's a foot race. So that's why Majid is gonna first cover shadow, then go. This way, if the ball is played, we always get it because we have a head start. This is very important to understand. This is where the bracketing comes in. Okay? You can see that Gian was here bracketing when Berdenz pressed, right? When Berdenz pressed, Gian was bracketing. And the same thing would have happened with Andy and Hamza if it went that way. It's very important to understand. Okay, then we just press the sideline, okay? We start coming in. Keep in mind, we have 4 in the back now, so, Gian can now press here because if this guy makes a run, Valentino can step out. We still have coverage in the back. We want these 3 original center backs to be very active, these center backs. We want them to act like center defensive mids as well. Once it's pinned to the sideline, everybody can shift over. Okay, and Hamza's continuing his run. If the guy delayed, Hamza might even get to the point where as Berdenz comes in, cut this off, Gian cuts it off, Hamza could even hop over, and we're just pinning this guy to the sideline. We're going to win the ball, and we're going to go. Okay, and the false 9 can come in and help. And we're just going to win this ball. And if we win the ball, We don't need to be spread out. If we win it here, look at the overwhelming numbers. This is like what Fluminense does in Brazil. Like just overwhelming numbers in one spot. We can just play like it's a rondo and just play right through this. Okay? Okay, so that, that's the defense. Quickly, if we lose the ball, right, and they penetrate us, let's say here, we're gonna delay, right? You don't want Andy running right out. We're gonna delay, okay? And we try to get into this. We try to all start running back, and we get into a 5-3-2 shape. Okay, we start coming back. Jid comes back. We start to slide over. We start to communicate, getting us set. We get into 5 in the back. Does it have to be the same people in the same spots? No, but this just happens to be so. And then Bernans could just switch sides, right? And so it did switch sides. The 2 strikers switch sides, and it's fine. But it could just as easily have been like this if this happened somehow, right? It's fine. Okay, we get into the 5-3-2 shape, and now they're breached, so these guys have to come back. Okay, if it is here, we're gonna keep going back. We're gonna drop to the 18. This is why no one is bigger than the team. Everyone gets behind the ball once we're breached. We don't allow the ball. We don't allow strikers to stay up here while the ball's here. That is unacceptable. We drop. We continue to drop. Okay? We get behind the ball. We get behind the ball. Okay? And then once we're in this 5-3-2 shape, we can start to press out. Okay? Very simple. Okay? Ball's played out. Okay? If it's closer to Bernans, he can come out. All right? If it's down here, if the ball was played down here, Bassam can come out. Bernans can come help and tuck in and double him. Everybody slides over. This basic defense is what we were working on the last 2 practices. Pressure, cover, balance. Okay, guys. So this is what we're going to run for both teams tomorrow. And just give it the best shot you have, and we'll adjust as we go, and we'll coach it as we go. Okay? Let me just show actually one more thing. Just so you understand the roles of Majid and Bassam. This was confusing to people last time, but it really shouldn't be. It's very simple. So if we get set back up again, here's your cover shadows, and this will help see what it looks like as we get set again if the goalie has the ball. So we bracket. They're 6'8", okay? They're 9'10". We're not as worried about. There's no way they're getting through there, right? We start with Majid behind, it's in the middle, and he basically has 3 stages. And the same goes for the right side, but we'll show you on the left side. They have 3 stages of where they position themselves. When it's in the middle or we're breached, they become part of a back 5. As it gets played into the half space or this right, that first start, they step in front and cover shadow because Hamza is coming out on this direction. So if Majid stayed back, we would leave this. So stage 1 is here, stage 2 is here. So that Hamza can cover shadow the 6, Majid cover shadows the 7, Joe brackets, and Gian Maldonado brackets. This is where the bracketing comes in, okay? Cover shadows, cover shadow, bracket, bracket. Bracket means you have 2 things on both sides, right? And we slide, okay? Like a horseshoe, okay? We saw this before, right? I think we're missing Bernans. Bernans is going to sweep here, right? And Sam is going to watch here, and Andy can just read the play and drop in, or he can just be ready for the big switch. Most of the time, with all these guys bearing down, the ball is going to go here. This is phase 3. And remember, phase 2 was he positions himself in such a way that he doesn't have to stay connected directly. He just has to have a cover shadow of the 7. He's not worried about the 2 yet. Then phase 3 is when it goes to the 2, he doesn't do this because now Joe's expecting that he's going to cover shadow him. So during the ball transmission, that means while the ball is moving, Majid cuts and cover shadows the 7, knowing that the ball is about to go to the 2, and that's going to be the next person that has the ball. Okay? So then he starts going up. Very important to understand this. The 3 phases. Here, when it's central, then he cover shadows from the 4, then he cuts and goes up. A lot of jobs for the wing back, but it's going to be very effective. Okay, see you guys tomorrow.